Don't spend that dime too fast. Certain 1974, 1990, and even 2019 dimes have sold for serious cash because of rare errors and top condition. Check your coins. You could have a treasure in your pocket. The US dime has always held a unique place in American currency. It is the smallest coin in physical size but carries one of the longest legacies in terms of design and use. By 1974, the Roosevelt dime had already been in circulation for almost 3 decades, and to most people it was just another coin for everyday purchases. But what many don't realize is that among the millions minted, some dimes from that year are far from ordinary. Certain rare examples of the 1974 dime have surfaced in auctions and private collections, shocking even seasoned collectors with prices ranging between $61,000 and $131,000. That's right, a coin worth only 10 cents when minted has reached six-figure territory in today's numismatic world. The Roosevelt dime design was first introduced in 1946, shortly after the death of President Franklin D. Roosevelt. He was a natural choice for this denomination because of his strong association with the March of Dimes campaign, which raised funds to fight polio. The dime became not only a tribute but also a symbol of American resilience and progress. John R. Sinek, chief engraver of the U.S. Mint, created the design, which features Roosevelt's portrait on the obverse and a torch flanked by olive and oak branches on the reverse. By the 1970s, the design was firmly established as part of everyday American life, yet it was during these years that the potential for minting errors and high-grade rarities added intrigue to what might otherwise seem like ordinary pocket change. The 1970s were a transitional time for U.S. coinage. The nation had fully moved away from silver content in circulating coins, with dimes now struck from a copper-nickel-clad composition. This meant they were durable and abundant, and for the most part, they held little collectible value. But hidden within the sea of ordinary clad dimes, certain mistakes and high-quality strikes have made some 1974 issues incredibly valuable. These include proof coins with anomalies, dimes struck with extraordinary precision that survive in pristine condition, and mint error varieties that are so scarce that collectors compete fiercely whenever one is offered for sale. One of the most fascinating aspects of the 1974 dime is the role of proof sets. The San Francisco Mint was responsible for striking proof coins during this era, carefully prepared for collectors with mirror-like surfaces and sharp details. In most cases, these proof dimes are not especially rare, but occasionally a mistake slipped through. A missing mint mark, a doubled die, or other subtle anomalies could instantly transform a common proof coin into a rarity worth tens of thousands of dollars. The famous No-S mintmark varieties are among the most coveted examples in the entire Roosevelt dime series, and although rare for 1974, these types of proof errors have fetched astonishing values. High-grade circulation strikes from the Philadelphia and Denver mints also play a role in the story. While millions of 1974 dimes were produced, nearly all of them entered circulation and endured heavy use. Dimes, given their small size, are easily worn down, scratched, and battered through everyday handling. Finding one that has survived in gem condition, graded MS-67 or higher, is exceptionally rare. Professional grading services like PCGS and NGC have documented only a tiny number of such coins. When these few pristine examples appear at auction, bidding can skyrocket, with prices reaching into that $61,000 to $131,000 range depending on grade, demand, and provenance. The allure of the 1974 dime also lies in error coins. During mass production, the mint occasionally produces coins with striking errors, planchet flaws, or die mishaps. Off-center strikes, clipped planchets, double strikes, and die clashes are among the most dramatic and collectible varieties. Each one tells a unique story about what went wrong during the minting process, and because these errors are accidental, their rarity cannot be replicated. Collectors treasure such pieces, and for a 1974 dime with a bold error preserved in high grade, values can easily soar to the six-figure mark. Another factor driving the mystique of the 1974 dime is its accessibility. Unlike ancient gold coins or extremely limited commemoratives, these dimes were mass-produced and spent in daily commerce. That means almost anyone could have handled one without knowing its potential. The idea that a coin sitting unnoticed in a jar of change could be worth between $61,000 and $131,000 sparks curiosity and excitement not just among seasoned collectors, but among everyday people. Stories circulate of lucky finds, where someone sorting through inherited proof sets or rolls of coins from the bank stumbles across an unexpected rarity that completely changes their perspective on collecting. Auction results add weight to this narrative. When a rare 1974 dime surfaces, it often becomes a headline-worthy event within numismatics. Collectors compete aggressively, knowing that opportunities to acquire such pieces are few and far between. One remarkable example in near-perfect condition stunned bidders when it realized over $100,000, proving once again that these coins are far more than just small change. With each record-breaking sale, the reputation of the 1974 dime as a sleeper rarity grows stronger, capturing the imagination of a wider audience. The design itself contributes to the coin's appeal. Roosevelt's portrait, rendered with dignity and strength, remains a lasting symbol of his leadership and connection to the American people. The reverse, with its trio of symbols, the torch for liberty, the olive branch for peace, and the oak branch for strength, encapsulates the values that the nation sought to project during the Cold War era of the 1970s. For collectors, owning a 1974 dime is not only about value, but about holding a piece of that history in their hands. The rarity of the 1974 dime in high grades or with errors teaches a powerful lesson in numismatics. It is not always the oldest or most exotic coin that carries the greatest value. Sometimes it is the small, overlooked coins that surprise us the most. The 1974 dime, struck in the millions, could easily be dismissed as common. But under the right circumstances, whether a missing mint mark, a dramatic error, or gem condition, it can command prices few would expect for a modern dime. It proves that every coin has a story, and sometimes that story is worth a fortune. For collectors, the pursuit of the 1974 dime is about more than just money. It is about discovery, the thrill of searching through change or proof sets with the hope of uncovering something extraordinary. It is about appreciating the artistry and history behind a coin most people never think twice about. And for those fortunate enough to own one of these rare dimes, it is about preserving a treasure that connects everyday currency with extraordinary value. The US 1974 dime is a perfect reminder of the hidden potential in our coins. Though most remain worth only 10 cents, the rarest survivors can reach breathtaking values of $61,000 to $131,000. These coins inspire both seasoned collectors and curious newcomers to take a closer look at the change in their pockets, because sometimes the smallest coins carry the biggest surprises. The 1974 dime may be tiny, but its story is immense, and its value in the right condition makes it one of the most fascinating rarities in modern U.S. coinage. The 1991 dime coin is one of those pieces of United States currency that most people carry around without realizing how much hidden history and unexpected value could be sitting right there in their pocket change. To the average person, a dime is nothing more than 10 cents, something to drop into a parking meter, a vending machine, or maybe save in a jar at home. But for coin collectors and those who pay attention to minting details, the 1990 dime has proven that even modern coins can sometimes be worth far more than face value. In fact, certain rare error versions and coins preserved in stunning condition have sold for as much as $50,000 to $120,000, making this coin an incredible treasure hidden in plain sight. To understand why the 1990 dime has become so special to collectors, it helps to step back and look at its design and history. The obverse of the coin features the familiar portrait of Franklin D. Roosevelt, designed by John R. Sinek, which has appeared on the dime since 1946. Roosevelt's profile is crisp and dignified, with the inscriptions Liberty, In God We Trust, the initials JS for Sinek, and of course, the date 1990. On the reverse, the design carries the torch of liberty flanked by an olive branch and an oak branch, symbolizing peace and strength. The words United States of America, E pluribus unum, and the denomination 1 dime complete the design. By 1990, the Roosevelt dime had already been in circulation for more than 4 decades, and the design had become one of the most recognizable pieces of everyday U.S. currency. The 1990 dime was struck at multiple U.S. mint facilities, most commonly at Philadelphia and Denver. Both produced millions of coins that year, and the vast majority entered circulation to be used in everyday transactions. These coins were minted in the standard copper-nickel clad composition that had been adopted after silver was removed from circulation coins in the mid-1960s. On the surface, nothing about the 1990 dime seemed particularly rare. Yet the very fact that so many were produced in such routine fashion means that when something unusual occurs, a minting error, a striking anomaly, or the survival of a pristine specimen, it stands out dramatically to collectors. One of the most fascinating aspects of coins like the 1990 dime is the presence of error varieties. During the minting process, small mistakes can occur, and while most are caught and discarded, some slip through and end up in circulation. These error coins are what fuel the excitement of the numismatic world. For the 1990 dime, collectors have identified several kinds of errors that significantly increase value. Off-center strikes are one of the most popular. When a dime is struck off-center, the design is shifted, leaving blank spaces where part of the design should be. If the date is still visible, collectors prize these coins even more. A dramatic off-center strike can turn a 10-cent coin into one worth thousands. Another category of errors involves double strikes or coins struck multiple times. A 1990 dime with a doubled image of Roosevelt's profile or an overlapping reverse design looks unusual and immediately attracts attention. These coins show the chaotic side of the minting process, where machinery errors created rare and collectible pieces. There are also wrong planchet errors, where a dime design is accidentally struck on a blank meant for another denomination, like a penny or even a foreign coin. These are extremely rare, but when authenticated can bring staggering prices, sometimes pushing into the five-figure range with ease. Condition plays another enormous role in value. While most dimes get used, worn down, and scratched over the years, a small number have been carefully preserved in brilliant, uncirculated condition. When a 1990 dime is graded at the highest levels, such as MS-68 or MS-69, it becomes a trophy coin. Collectors seek out these coins for their flawless luster, sharp strike, and clean surfaces. The demand for top-grade examples drives prices upward dramatically. It's coins like these, combined with rare errors, that explain why the 1990 dime has commanded astonishing auction results, reaching anywhere between $50,000 and $120,000. Auction houses have provided some of the most dramatic stories around these coins. In one notable case, a collector found a 1990 dime in his father's small coin collection. At first glance, it didn't seem particularly unusual, but under closer inspection it revealed an off-center strike that was nearly 40% off, with the date still fully visible. The coin was sent to be graded and authenticated, and when it came up for sale, the bidding was fierce. What started as a coin once thought worth only 10 cents ended up selling for tens of thousands of dollars. Another dramatic auction tale involves a pristine, high-grade 1990 dime that had never entered circulation. Its surfaces gleamed under the lights, reflecting every detail of Roosevelt's face and the reverse branches with striking clarity. Collectors immediately recognized its rarity, and bidding quickly escalated. By the time the auctioneer's hammer fell, the coin had crossed into six-figure territory, proving that condition alone can make the difference between pocket change and life-changing value. The historical context of the 1990 dime also plays into its appeal. By the early 1990s, the U.S. Mint was producing coins on a massive scale, using modern equipment that was supposed to minimize errors. This makes the surviving errors from this period even more fascinating. They are anomalies in a system designed for precision, and that rarity excites collectors. Furthermore, the Roosevelt dime has remained unchanged in design for decades, so small differences caused by minting mistakes become even more noticeable and valuable. For collectors, the thrill of the hunt lies not just in finding coins but in knowing what to look for. Experts suggest examining dimes carefully under magnification to spot doubling in the inscriptions, off-center features, or unusual edges that might point to a wrong planchet. Even the thickness, weight, or color of a dime can signal something extraordinary. These are the subtle signs that transform a coin from ordinary to remarkable, and they are the reasons why some 1990 dimes have achieved such remarkable values. For the everyday person who may not know much about coins, the story of the 1990 dime is a reminder that treasures can still be found in the most unlikely places. It's not just about ancient gold or centuries-old silver pieces. Modern coins, struck only a few decades ago, can sometimes hold surprising worth. The idea that a dime worth 10 cents could sell for between $50,000 and $120,000 makes it a captivating story for anyone, collector or not. In the end, the 1990 dime is more than just a small piece of change. It represents the unexpected, the rare, and the extraordinary hiding in the everyday. It shows how history, chance, and preservation come together to create something of immense value. Whether through rare varieties, pristine condition, or sheer rarity, the 1990 dime continues to capture the imagination of collectors. For those lucky enough to find one, it proves that sometimes the smallest coins can hold the biggest surprises, turning ordinary pocket change into an extraordinary piece of American numismatic history. The 2019 one-dime coin is one of those pieces of modern American currency that most people overlook, slipping through our hands without a second thought, tossed into change jars, left at the bottom of purses, or spent at a vending machine. At face value, it represents just 10 cents, but for coin collectors and treasure hunters, the 2019 dime has proven that even recent coins can hold astonishing secrets. Some rare versions and error coins have fetched values that are nothing short of life-changing, with prices ranging from $30,000 to $90,000 depending on condition, rarity, and unique minting quirks. The idea that such an ordinary dime could be worth tens of thousands of dollars continues to capture the imagination of both collectors and everyday people who start to wonder if they, too, might stumble across one of these hidden treasures. The design of the 2019 dime is familiar to anyone who has handled U.S. currency in recent decades. It bears the portrait of Franklin D. Roosevelt, a tribute that has appeared on the dime since 1946, sculpted by John R. Sinek. Roosevelt's image is accompanied by the inscriptions, "Liberty," "In God We Trust," "The Year 2019," and Sinek's initials, JS. On the reverse, the design continues with the symbolic torch of liberty at the center, flanked by an olive branch and an oak branch, representing peace and strength. The inscriptions United States of America, E Pluribus Unum, and One Dime encircle the design. This design has remained largely unchanged for decades, which is precisely why collectors notice even the smallest variations or minting errors that make a particular dime special. The 2019 dime was minted in huge quantities at U.S. mint facilities in Philadelphia and Denver. With millions of these coins struck, most went directly into circulation and saw immediate use in everyday transactions. At first glance, it would be difficult to imagine that any of these could become rare or valuable. Yet, that abundance of ordinary coins is exactly what makes the rare outliers, errors, high-grade specimens, and unique variations so special to collectors. When something unusual happens in the minting process, such as a misalignment, a double strike, or a wrong planchet strike, the resulting coin stands apart dramatically. One of the most exciting aspects of the 2019 dime lies in its error varieties. Collectors have reported examples of off-center strikes, where the design is shifted to one side, leaving part of the coin blank while the other side carries an incomplete image of Roosevelt or the reverse torch and branches. These off-center strikes, especially when the date is still visible, can make the coin worth thousands. Another thrilling error involves double strikes, where the coin is struck twice and carries overlapping or shadow-like images. These coins look unusual to the eye and command strong collector interest. There are also instances of wrong planchet errors. A dime design might occasionally be struck on a blank intended for a different denomination, like a penny or a foreign coin. These wrong planchet errors are extremely rare and tend to achieve jaw-dropping prices when authenticated by grading services. Finding such a coin among everyday pocket change would be nothing short of shocking, as the rarity pushes their value far beyond the norm. But it isn't only errors that add value to the 2019 dime. Condition plays a crucial role in determining what makes one coin worth only its face value and another worth thousands. Most dimes in circulation are scratched, worn down, and nicked from everyday use. However, some coins are preserved in pristine condition, never having seen circulation, maintaining their sharp details, luster, and brilliance. When a 2019 dime achieves a high grade such as MS 68 or MS 69 from professional grading services, it enters a category of elite collectibles. The demand for these top-tier examples pushes prices upward significantly. In fact, Certain pristine 2019 dimes have been valued between $30,000 and $90,000, depending on their specific qualities and auction competition. Auction stories reveal just how dramatic these valuations can be. In one instance, a collector discovered a 2019 dime with a remarkable off-center strike while sifting through rolls of coins purchased from a bank. Initially, it didn't look like much, but under closer inspection, the coin revealed its rarity. Sent to a professional grading service, the coin was authenticated and labeled as a major error. When it came to auction, fierce bidding quickly pushed the price far beyond expectations, eventually landing in the tens of thousands. What once seemed like pocket change had transformed into an extraordinary prize. Another auction featured a pristine, high-grade 2019 dime that had never been released into circulation. Its surfaces gleamed under inspection lights, and every detail of Roosevelt's portrait and the reverse design stood out with flawless clarity. For collectors who prize perfection, this coin became irresistible. Bidding surged as participants recognized its rarity, and by the time the hammer fell, it had fetched a staggering price, proving once again that even a modern dime can cross into the realm of luxury collectibles. What makes these coins so captivating is the juxtaposition of the ordinary and the extraordinary. Millions of 2019 dimes were produced and passed through the hands of countless Americans without notice. Yet within that ocean of coins lies the rare few that have something unique, something flawed or perfectly preserved that makes them worth tens of thousands of dollars. For collectors, it is the thrill of knowing that hidden treasures might be found in the most unassuming places. The historical context adds another layer of intrigue. By 2019, the U.S. Mint had long perfected its production systems, minimizing errors with modern technology. This means that when errors do occur, they are even rarer and more desirable. The fact that such mistakes slip through the minting process in a highly automated, precise era makes them all the more valuable to those who seek out anomalies. Collectors understand that the rarity of these coins is not just about survival over decades, but about the unlikely chance of a mistake occurring in a system designed to prevent it. The Roosevelt dime series itself has become one of the longest-running coin designs in U.S. history. While its design has remained consistent, collectors pay attention to each year's production for subtle differences, new varieties, and unique anomalies. The 2019 dime has joined that long line of coins with its own share of stories, auction results, and discoveries that make it stand out from other modern issues. For the average person, the 2019 dime is a reminder that sometimes the most ordinary objects can carry hidden value. A coin pulled from change at the grocery store might be just 10 cents to most, but to the right buyer, it could be worth $30,000 to $90,000. This dramatic difference in value is what fuels so much excitement in the world of coin collecting. Stories circulate of individuals finding rare coins in their loose change, sending them off for grading, and discovering they hold a treasure worth more than a new car or even a down payment on a house. The enduring lesson of the 2019 dime is that treasures are often hiding in plain sight. Collectors know that patience, knowledge, and attention to detail are key when it comes to identifying rare coins. Everyday people can benefit too, simply by being aware that coins, even modern ones, can carry far greater value than their face suggests. For some, this awareness sparks a new hobby, while for others, it becomes a lifelong passion. In the end, the 2019 one-dime coin is far more than a small piece of change. It is a piece of history, a symbol of America's coinage tradition, and a potential treasure that blurs the line between the ordinary and the extraordinary. Whether it's through striking errors, pristine preservation, or rare anomalies, the 2019 dime has already made a name for itself in the numismatic world. For those lucky enough to find one, it can represent not just monetary value but the thrill of discovery, the surprise of hidden worth, and the joy of uncovering something truly special.